It's election time again on these YouTube streets. Make sure you vote for St. Laz for your YouTube street spokesperson. And make sure you don't vote for no bozo goofball derelicts that's out there on YouTube. They got their hands on a free phone with no connection, just Wi-Fi in somebody's spot. You heard? Eating dollar store, Family Dollar frozen foods and stuff like that. You heard? Don't vote for those guys. Vote for LAZ. If you happen to see a former storyteller from off the channel named John Rodder now being a major St. Laz hater on YouTube, and it confuses you, let me explain it to you. John Rodder is your typical ghetto friend. When you do something good, he'll smile up in your face and pretend to support you. But secretly, he's competing with you, he's jealous, and he kind of wishes it was him in the position that you're in. Pause. Basically, John Rodder started trying to tell me how to run my channel and how to do my job as if he know how to do my job better than me. So I quickly clipped his wings and cut him out like a cancer and tossed him with the other dogs and mongrels. John Rodder wanted to come back to the channel and tell more stories, but it was too late. He ran his mouth too much, he said too many hater type of things, and I was done with him. Now that he knows that his chances of getting back on his channel is zilch, he decided to become the newest St. Laz hater. But all jokes aside, John Rodder is suffering from a drug addiction and a mental health condition. He's a paranoid schizophrenic that believes that everybody is against him, his enemy. It's a real condition, and the brother needs mental health help and he needs medication. And I'm not just saying that to be funny. I'm dead ass. The brother is mentally deteriorating. So if you're believing anything this crazy person is saying about St. Laz on YouTube, you just might be crazy. When I bent down to go get the blunt, that's when the barrage of fire just was like blah 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 blah. So blah blah blah, I'm ducking, blah 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 blah. All I hear is shoo 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 shoo. In 1992 in Brownsville, Brooklyn, I was wrongfully charged with murder in the second degree for an accidental shooting that happened in Howard Projects. I got a documentary called Kids with Guns coming soon about my life experiences. And I swear, every single time I try to film this documentary, something happens that sets me back with it. This time, I bought a $1,000 laptop computer to be able to edit and film this video in Ultra and film this documentary in Ultra HD. And that laptop was stolen. So now I don't got a laptop to even edit this project because the files are too big. So I swear to you, it's like the universe be trying to stop me from making this project until it's the correct time for that project to be done. I don't know what it is. But shout out to the bro FO, we working. But in 1992, when I was charged with this crime, I was sent to Rikers Island. In 1993, my mother moved to Dyckman Projects because she was getting death threats in my old projects because of what had happened in my case. Now, at this time, Dyckman was a completely different place than what it is now. Now, you know, Dyckman is world famous. The basketball games, the clubs, the restaurants, the lounges. It's a place that everybody in New York City knows about and hangs out and all of that. You heard? But back in 1993, when my mother first moved up here, a lot of people in the city didn't even know what Dyckman was or where it was, and people thought it was the Bronx and all of that. You heard? It was extremely desolate out here, and the nickname for this project was called Ghost Town. You heard? Because not just the projects, the whole Dyckman was kind of desolate. All of them stores and restaurants and lounges and stuff like that you see in Dyckman now, none of that existed. None of it existed. It wasn't nothing really going on exciting in Dyckman unless it was crime. You understand what I'm saying? All of that Times Square shit that's going on now, none of that existed. So, I was on Rikers Island in 92, and in 93, the judge finally showed me some mercy and dropped my bail down to something that my family could afford to bail me out for. So I got bailed out. I would have to turn myself back in and go up north and do 6 years soon. But in the meantime, in between time, I got to come home on bail for 6 months in 1993. And when I came home for that 6 months, I landed in Dyckman Projects, where my mother was now staying. You heard? And like I said, it was a total different world from what it is now, and it was a total different world from Brownsville. It was things going on and happening that I was too young to understand and know about in Dyckman at that time. But as far as crime and shootings and killings compared to where I grew up in, Brownsville, it was nothing like that. And, you know, I was happy to be living somewhere where I ain't gotta duck no bullets. You heard? But I did miss Brownsville, and I did start bringing that Brownsville element up here. And I started inviting a bunch of my friends from Howard Projects to come up to Dyckman and spend some time with me and get to know the neighborhood. You heard? So we started appreciating Dyckman and liking Dyckman and having fun in Dyckman. You heard? Met a lot of good dudes in Dyckman and made a lot of friends in Dyckman. You heard? So, you know, I was a teenager. I was 16 years old, and I was exploring a new neighborhood. Now this part of Dyckman right here is right across the street from the projects, and it's called The Drive. Now, in the last 10 years or so, The Drive has become a very famous place in New York City. This is where everybody goes in the summertime to have cookouts and parties and all type of stuff. And it be a movie back here every single summer. If you're not familiar with this drive, ask around, ask some friends and family, and they'll tell you about it. This little slither of grass that goes down all the way down the Harlem River Drive is where hundreds of people, blacks and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, they all come back here and get their party on and they cookout on in the summertime. And once again, it's called The Drive. Now, back in the days in 1993, The Drive was nothing like it is now. The Drive was a place that only people from Dyckman Projects knew about, and only people from Dyckman Projects would really come to. And dudes really just came here to smoke in peace and to get up with a girl. Because you could come back here with a girl, smoke, and have complete privacy, if you know what I mean. But that's what The Drive was known for. So if you seen somebody sliding off with a chick to The Drive, you already know. You feel what I'm saying? And we used to come back here to smoke. And sometimes we was with chicks and we wasn't doing nothing sexual. We was just coming back here to smoke in peace because weed wasn't legal back then. You could go to jail for smoking weed outside. So one day we come to The Drive, right? It was like me. You know, I'm trying to remember who was there, but it was probably like me. I think Joaquin, rest in peace. Maybe my bro, Rob. You heard? Shout out to my bro, Rob, from the Bronx. My nigga, Trub, from Howard Projects. You heard? My son, Israel, brother. You heard? And maybe Gotti, Paulie from Dyckman. I can't remember exactly who was there, but it was the usual band of motherfuckers that we used to be smoking and chilling and hanging out with back in them days, right? So we come back here and we walk all the way back to where River Park Towers can be seen. It's all type of boat houses and kayaking teams and all of that got stations out here and all of that. It was none of this in 1993. It was pretty desolate, and you know, it was a dangerous place to be playing around where the water was at. A lot of this stuff has been redesigned, like this little hump right here where the trees is at. If I can recall correctly, I don't even think this hump was here. I know that little brick house thing, I know that wasn't there. You feel what I'm saying? It was designed a little differently because now it's considered like a park. You feel me? But back then, it was just a stretch of land that wasn't being occupied. You heard? Boom. So like I said, right across the river is RPT, River Park Towers. You heard? One of the most notorious housing developments in New York City. You heard? Right across the river is RPT. So boom, we over here somewhere under these trees. Now it's the summertime, so all of these trees are filled with leaves. You heard? All of these trees are nice and green and filled with leaves. And we over here, standing under these trees, smoking weed. And across from us on the river is like they pool and they little park for River Park Towers where they hang out at, where it's like the only place to hang out at in River Park Towers. And it's a bunch of kids, teenagers over there hanging out, probably smoking weed, doing the same thing we was doing. You heard? Except for we had broads with us. We had a bunch of chicks with us too. Or a few chicks with us too. Rest in peace, Nora. You heard? Nora, later on in life, committed suicide. You heard? And it was a tragic thing in Dyckman. Rest in peace, Nora. She might have been there this day too. So, we right here under these trees smoking. So we under these trees smoking. Know what I mean? You know, we young teenagers. You know, we teenagers thinking we grown. You heard? And we acting tough too, real talk. Because if I'm not mistaken, we had the ratchet on us too. At this time, we had a little 2.5. My bro Rob had a little 2.5 and he had bought it to Dyckman. And we was open like, yo, let us hold that, son. Let us hold that. You feel me? So son used to let us hold a 2.5 for a few days. And we be out here running around with the little 2.5 Raven. And, you know, we thought we was them niggas. So, son, it's my word. This particular day, we standing around, we smoking. Now our body movement is all tough. We walking around, you know what I mean? We bopping, we, you know what I mean? We trying to impress the chicks. We talking tough shit. Yeah, son, cause you know back in Brooklyn, nigga, we would have been doing it like this, son. You already know. We just running around with mad reckless teenage energy, you heard? Passing the blunts back and forth to each other. Yo, here, son, hit this, son. Hold on, son. Let me hit that right quick. Let me hit that. You heard? We just reckless, my bro. So I done smoked so much weed at this time. I'm super high. I'm super high and out of my mind from smoking so much weed. I smoked too much that day. I could recall feeling myself saying, damn, I smoked a little bit too much. Cause we was passing like 2-3 blunts around at one time. Right? So I'm standing under the tree and I'm trying to light a blunt with another blunt that's going out. You know how you hold a little roach to the other joint and you light it? I'm like this. I'm trying to light one blunt from the other blunt that's about to go out. All of a sudden, I just see leaves falling down in front of my face. So I'm like, yo, what's that, man? It's a squirrel up in the tree or something? That shit like this. Leaves. I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see no squirrel. My mans and them start looking up. Word, what is that? Leaves just keep falling, bro. Next thing you know, something just tells me, look across the river. I look across the river, and those bunch of teenagers that was over there, they all standing up staring at us. And I'm like, why is them niggas standing there staring at us like that? And I'm looking, I just start seeing a flash from a gun. Bah, 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 bah. I'm like, my stupid ass, I'm so high, I'm like, what is that? What's that crackling sound coming from over there? Niggas like this, blah, blah. And as I'm looking, more and more leaves is just falling. I look back, I see the leaves falling. Next thing you know, I just hear a bullet whiz past my ear. I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? Another one. I said, oh shit. Then it dawned on me. These niggas from River Park Towers is blamming at us from across the river. I said, yo, they shooting. Oh shit, they shooting. Niggas started running. Everybody started running. When niggas started running, them niggas opened fire crazy. We like this, yo, they shooting. Niggas like this. Blah, 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 blah. We ducking. My nigga, this is word to everything I love. So many bullets was whizzing past my ears, and them shits was coming so close to my head. That's all I kept hearing. This is, first of all, when they really started opening fire, when I really noticed that, I forgot to mention. I'm so stupid, when I started running, I had the big blunt that I lit, and I dropped the small roach on the ground. And I was so high, when I dropped we was kind of laughing too. Like, we teenagers, so we was, oh shit, yo, they shooting. Yeah, I dropped the small blunt. Like a high idiot, my instincts made me stop and reach back for the blunt because I thought it was the big blunt that I dropped. Nigga, I should have kept running no matter which blunt it was. But like a high idiot teen, I went back to go get the blunt. And when I bent down to go get the blunt, that's when the barrage of fire just was like, blah, 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 blah. So now I said, fuck the blunt. Even though it was a small roach anyway, I realized that. I'm like, what am I doing? While a barrage of fire, I'm like, blah, 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 I'm ducking, blah, 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 blah. All I hear is, shoo, 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 shoo. Word to everything I love. This is word to everything I love. It was so many bullets whizzing past my head that I gave up and said, this is the day that I die. I said, damn, I'm out on bail. I never got to prove my innocence in my case. All of that shit was going through my head. And I just gave up for 2 seconds. I said, I can't take this level of wondering if the bullet is going to hit me or not, because they was whizzing past my face and my head so much, I thought it was only a matter of seconds before one of these shits hit me in the face and the head. So I gave up for a second. I was like, fuck it, man, hit me. You heard? And then 2 seconds went by, shoo, 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 and I still ain't get hit, and I snapped out of that shit, and I started running again. My niggas was already running up. I'm like, yo, them niggas, blah, 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 blah. Man, listen. We hightailed that shit back to Dyckman Projects, my nigga. And from then on, I was on point fucking with that drive shit, my nigga. I'm not sitting directly across from River Park Towers. To this day, even filming this shit, I'm not gonna be standing directly across from River Park Towers for too long, my nigga. Cause they was airing at our asses. And it was only a matter of time for one of them bullets hit somebody in the head. And by the grace of the universe, nobody got shot, bro. You heard? But I just remember saying, damn, all these years I spent in Brownsville, and I ain't never come that close to death. You heard? But I came uptown to Dyckman and missed death by this much. You heard? And it was crazy. And that was my story about the drive in Dyckman, a famous place that this summer is gonna be packed. You heard? And that's a whole fact. LAZ, man, I took a month off with this YouTube stuff, you heard, to handle business that I gotta handle. But if you're missing the content and you need some episodes, make sure you check this playlist, new and recent episodes only, where it's hundreds of episodes that I'm sure you ain't see about 30, 40 of those, you heard? So make sure you check that playlist. Now I mean, tap in, comment gang in the building, Slim Blunt gang in the building, Coffee gang in the building, you already Snow Cone. Make sure y'all go to bloodsagas.com and cop that book, The Blood Sagas, Book 1, Blood and Loyalty.
Okay, but Spirit wants you to know at this time in your life, this is a time where you need to be still. Okay, be still and know that God is working in your favor. Okay, Spirit is
follow True Humble Clarity on TikTok if you need that spiritual advice. Yersk, tell a Z-Man sent you. Back in the days in Times Square, used to be this gift shop, right? It was there for mad long. It was a famous gift shop. If you remember the name of it, you familiar with what I'm talking about, leave a comment, because I can't remember the name. But it was a famous gift shop right there on 8th Avenue and 42nd Street. You heard? And they just sold top of the line gag gifts. You heard? Top of the line type stuff. Because you know, back in the days, in the back of comic books, that was the thing. In the back of comic books, Archie comics and all of that, they would be promoting gag gifts like exploding gum and the smoke that you made from your fingertips. Remember that the liquid you used to put on your fingertips and go like this and smoke come out your hand and all of that? I was into all of that. The hand shaker with the buzzer on it, I was into all of that, and I was ordering them joints out the back of comic books and all of that until I discovered that gift shop, the gag gift shop that was on the Deuce. You feel what I'm saying? And I discovered that gift shop by going to Playland back in the days to play video games, I mean, in Times Square. I used to see that back when they used to have one of the game rooms used to be in the train station. You heard? Back in the 80s on the D train, there was a stop that when you went through the tunnel, it was a whole crazy graffiti mural that became animated and came to life while the train moved. If you know that stop, leave it in the comments. It's supposed to be spring out here and it's dumb brick. You heard? But yeah, man, I got familiar with that gag shop from coming to the Deuce to go to Playland. And like I always say, it was one video arcade that was in the train station on 42nd and 8th, you feel me? And then it was another game room that was in the train station on 34th Street. You feel me? Not in the train station, but in, you know, Penn Station or whatever. It was a crazy game room up there where all the games was sped up so that you lose your money. But yeah, the gag shop. But yeah, the gag shop was like over there across the street from that McDonald's over there. You heard? Right on the corner, or right around that corner. Like I said, leave it in the comments. I'm gonna dig up a picture of this joint too. You heard? But I'm on the Deuce right now. This is where the joint was at. So yeah, I used to run up in this gag shop. Plus, I was going to school over here. Forget about it. When I started going to graphics on 50th Street, man, listen, I was going to this gag shop down there every day because it was the type of place, it was just packed. It was an old spot, you feel me? So it was packed with peanuts. Like, you could just be in there for hours looking through their stuff. They don't even know what they got in there, but they got everything. You heard? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was right where this Five Below and Crumbs Bakery and all of that. It was right there. Not 100% on that. But yeah, like I was saying, it was the type of place where it was so much stuff up in there, they don't even know what they got up in there. You had to just go up in there for yourself and search and search and search until you found what you really wanted. And they had thousands and thousands of items in stock. You feel what I'm saying? It's a damn shame they even closed this spot because it was a landmark. It should have been a landmark. But yeah, I used to go up in there copping all of that, bro. You know what I mean? Gum that turn your mouth black, whoopee cushions, putting them on my teacher's chair. You feel me? Putting it on my mom's chair. Whatever I could get my hands on out of here, that was crazy. The bug inside the ice cube. You heard they had the fly inside the ice cube. Like I said, the snapping gum, the joint you shake people's hands and shock them. It was all type of classics up in there, you heard? But when I discovered this one item that was different, you heard? And this item was called egg perfume. You heard? And it came in a little ass bottle. And I found it in this gag shop. And I seen it and I was like, you know, I done seen them advertise this trick before in the back of comic books where they show a little picture of people running like they smell something crazy. But in my mind, I was like, ain't no way this little ass bottle of clear oil, or I think it was yellow oil, ain't no way that joint smelled potent like that, where like in the picture people running and all of that. I'm like, nah, they exaggerating, but I'ma give it a shot. So I bought that egg perfume, right? Took that back to the crib box. Man, listen, bro. When I cracked that open and I got a whiff of that, when I tell you, that shit was like 400. Matter of fact, it wasn't egg perfume, it was rotten egg perfume. You heard? It was rotten egg perfume. Bro, when I tell you, one drop of that was smelling like 2,000 rotten eggs that somebody just shitted out. This shit was outrageous. That's my word. I was wilding with that shit, taking it to school, putting that shit on people's chairs in school, clearing out the whole classroom. You heard? When I say this shit made people clear out, it made people clear out, my G's. All these shit's fake, you heard? All them shit's gazy. But anyway, son, I was taking that rotten egg perfume. I was clearing out whole classrooms. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't a game. What they said in the picture was gonna go down, it was going down. You heard? One time I caught my mom's. I'm foul for doing this. I'm young. I ain't know the understandings of how this could fuck somebody's whole life up. One day I caught my mom's rushing to go out to work. Even my mom's be bringing this up to this day. You heard? I caught her rushing to go to work. And I'm like, oh, yo. My mom's late trying to make it out the door. I'm like, oh, yo, I forgot. I bought you some perfume. I want you to try it. She like, I'm late. I'll see you later. I'm like, nah, just try it on. Take it, wear it to work. Son. My mom's great. My mom's like, just give me the shit. Hurry up. She like this. Bloop, 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 bloop. Took about 3 steps. By the time she hit the door, she like, what the fuck? My shit on the floor rolling. She like, what the fuck you made me put on? I'm like, that's my rotten egg perfume. I just got it. She like, what the hell is wrong with you? I gotta go to work. You gonna have me go to work smelling like this shit? My mom's ran up in the bathroom, grabbed the rag, threw mad soap and water. She washing her neck all crazy. That shit wasn't coming out, my bro. You heard? She had to wash her shit like 3-4 times for that egg smell to come out, because that shit was an oil. It wasn't just some light. Nah, that shit was a thick oil. You put that on your skin, it's a wrap. My mom's was cursing me the fuck out. while she ran up out that door late for work, and she was still smelling like that eggery. You heard? So I know she got on the train and it was crazy. My mom's got up on that C train on Rockaway Avenue, cleared the whole train out, I'm sure. Know what I mean? But that was foul. I shouldn't have did that, man. Could have got my mom's fired. Miss Johnston, listen, you smell like shit. We can't have you work here anymore. It would have been disastrous. But yeah, so the egg perfume, the rotten egg perfume, bro, I was clearing it out. I was bringing that to school. I was putting that shit in the hallway of my building, in the elevator, everywhere niggas was going. Everywhere I was going, niggas like, yo, what's up with this rotten egg smell? My shit just laughing. You heard? Like if you was going to graphics and you happened to be taking the A train from Broadway Junction, you know what I mean? You had to get off at 42nd Street and catch the C or the E to go to 50th Street, right? So whatever train was coming first, we got on that shit. Pause, you feel me? So we ain't used to like to get on the E train because the E train was filled with nothing but rich people. You heard? Like mostly rich white people, few Asians sprinkled in at this time. You feel what I'm saying? But at these stops, 50th Street and the E going up, it was nothing but rich ass people. And when we used to get on the train, you know, young thugs, young black teenagers from Brooklyn and Brownsville and all of that, you know, the trains were so terrible at this time with incidents and young dudes fighting and jumping and robbing and shooting and stealing and stabbing on the train. It was a bad stereotype for black youth, high school youth on them subways. So anytime, you know, you take the C train, that was the hood train. Rich people ain't fuck with that. But when you get on that E, you felt mad racial tension at all times. Like when Graphics and Park West kids hopped on that E, they used to be mad. So we used to come up in the train car we used to come up on that E and it'd be nothing but frowns and funny style looks. You know what I mean? People turning their nose up to us and all of that. I spoke about this before, I think, in one of my other stories. But one time I was on that E train with my bro Chicken, rest in peace. And every time we got on the train, it used to be dudes looking at us with their nose turned up and all of that. Like we troublemaking teens trying to start. We wasn't trying to start shit. We trying to go to school. You feel what I'm saying? So one time it was this white dude, old white dude. He was looking at us crazy. Like I'm talking about, we come on the train, people grabbing their purses, moving their purses closer to them. All of that good shit, like all of that racial good shit. So we used to be mad. So one time it was this white dude, he was reading the New York Times newspaper. You know, that shit is brolic. You feel me? So he folded the newspaper out and he keep looking at us up and down. And I'm looking at my bro Chicken looking at me. And my memory getting blurry. I'm getting old, people. I'm getting old. My memory is getting blurry. Either me or Chicken, I can't remember which one did it. One of us smacked the motherfucker, I think it was Chicken though, smacked the newspaper out of son's hand, like the big ass New York Times newspaper. He just smacked that shit out his hand. Wow! You know that shit make mad noise. You hit a piece of paper wide like that. You heard he smacked that shit, wow! And that shit dropped on the floor and like the whole train gasped like, know what I mean? And we like, yo, fuck out of here. And the whole reason for that was like, we ain't even doing nothing, bro. Y'all all looking at us like we gonna rob or steal. We ain't doing shit. But for your racial profiling, take this newspaper slap. Blang! Smack that shit out his hand. You heard? And we got off the train laughing. Fuck y'all niggas. Know what I mean? But yeah, so I got on that E train with all them rich, snooty folks. And they was looking at me the way they usually look at me when I get on the E train. And I was like, I got something for y'all asses this time. You heard? I pulled out the rotten egg perfume. It's my word. I poured like half the bottle on the train floor, splashed some of that shit on the walls, all of that, bro. And I just stood there and waited for the madness to begin. You heard? My shit did that shit, boom, threw that shit back in my pocket. Within like 10 seconds, niggas was like, oh God, God. Everybody was like, oh God, oh. Niggas was running up out the cart, my G. Niggas was running through the door, going to the next cart. Oh God, what's that smell? Son, I let the rotten egg perfume off, my nigga. Spilled like half the bottle on the train cart. You heard? Motherfucking rich white motherfuckers was running for their lives. Oh God! Jesus Christ! What the fuck is that? Yo, that shit was dumb funny, my nigga. Cleared the whole train cart out. My shit just was sitting back, laughing my ass off. You heard? Whole lot. Got off at 50th Street. I'm out of here, nigga. That shit probably smelled like that egg shit for the next 10 months. You heard? What's good? What's good? Yo, just seen some Gen Pop gang in the building, man. Shout out to them. Yo, so yeah, man. That shit was dumb funny watching them niggas scurry out that train from that rotten egg perfume, my nigga. But I was out of control with that shit. And when it finally ran out, it was a great thing, my nigga. Because I was tearing up the whole Brownsville, the whole Manhattan with that shit. You heard? And it was disgusting, but I missed that gag shop, man. You heard? And if it was open nowadays, I'd be running up in that shit every day the same way I was when I was 14 and 15 years old. And that's a whole fact. Z-Man Suicide Polo with the Ski Man. Holla at me. If you an ex-felon and you want to get back your right to bear arms, holla at Dividend Queen on Instagram. She specializes in removing felonies from off people's records based on the new laws and guidelines that just got passed early this year. Hey, yo, man, make sure you check out that new project from the bro Aguilar the Don. You heard it's called Beautiful Chaos. And you could type it in Google right now and it's going to pop up like a Pop-Tart, you heard? The title track, Beautiful Chaos, is featuring the God, L.A.Z. You heard? Check out that playlist. I'm on there, you heard? Kool G Rap is on there. And other heavy-hitting spitters is on there. So make sure you download that. Stream that. Leave some comments. Tell them Z-Man Suicide Polo with the Ski Man sent you. Go on my Instagram page. You see that 50 racks. And listen to that Beautiful Chaos single. The whole full song is on my Instagram page and my reels. Now I mean, make sure you check that out. Follow me on Instagram. Leave a comment. Tell me how you feel about this real hip hop. Yeah. And make sure you follow me on that Tiggity, you heard? Because I'm about to get monetized on there as soon as I hit that 10,000 followers. I got the white kids behind me. I'm like this, yeah, I'm leaving these niggas. They ain't on my level. I'm like this. Yo, man, if you ain't know, I got some episodes on my channel where I talk about Fresh Air Fund. You feel me? Like, if you're not familiar with Fresh Air Fund, basically Fresh Air Fund was a summer camp for inner city kids. And there was two types of Fresh Air Funds. It was the type that you go to an actual camp, like a log cabin type camp. Shannon Briggs got stories on the channel where he's speaking about that Fresh Air Fund. But the other type of Fresh Air Fund was the type where you go to a family. You feel me? Like you go to a family somewhere in the suburbs and you get to experience living in the suburbs and living that suburban good life. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the type of Fresh Air Fun I went to, and I told many stories on this channel about that Fresh Air Fund experience. You feel what I'm saying? So if you never seen them stories, type in St. Laz Fresh Air Fund and they'll come up. But one story I had forgot to tell was about one of the times I was at Fresh Air Fund and I learned what the term knock the wind out of you mean. Like, I always used to hear that. You know, you hear that growing up. Yo, that shit knocked the wind out of me. Know what I mean? I'm like, yo, what does that mean? Like, you know what I mean? Knock the wind out. I know, you get punched in the stomach or something. You might have a little gasp for air or whatever. But I'm talking about completely knocking the wind out of your body and soul. It's different. You feel me? So, boom, one time we was in Fresh Air Fund, right? So it's a bunch of white kids and they got their bikes. Now me, I'm from Brownsville and I've been riding dirt bikes all my life. You feel me? Like, throwing pegs on those, know what I mean, doing wheelies and bunny hops and all type of stuff on the bike. So, my hood game on riding bikes was up. So when I seen all these white kids had their bikes and shit, I'm like, man, listen, these niggas can't fuck with me though. You heard? I get stupid. I spin around. I get crazy. You heard? Me and my dudes be getting crazy. And now I wasn't no bike trick expert, but I knew how to wheelie, bunny hop, and the basic type of shit. Know what I mean? So I had a hood bike riding style. So I'm like, yeah, man, let me get on the bike. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ride with these little white boys and I'm gonna tear them up on these bikes. You feel what I'm saying? So they like, boom, let's ride around the neighborhood. Let's ride. We're gonna ride through here. Then we're gonna come through. Cause they had the family I was staying with. They had a big ass backyard. You feel me? With a nice amount of space. So they like, yeah, we gonna do this and that. Then we gonna cut through the backyard and come down the hill. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, I bet. We riding. I'm thinking I know the area. I'm showing off. I'm standing up riding. Everybody else sitting their ass down on the bike riding. I'm standing up riding. Know what I mean? I'm swirling back and forth. I'm doing all type of stuff. I'm jumping over small little rocks and stuff like that. You feel me? I'm feeling myself on the bike. My bro, it was a staircase in a backyard that's like 2-3 steps that was made from real stone that was covered with grass and stuff like that I had no idea about. All of these dudes, they know about that little staircase and they ride down that little staircase or they jump over it. Me, I ain't know nothing about it. So my shit riding a bike, I got the white kids behind me. I'm like this, yeah, I'm leaving these niggas. They ain't on my level. I'm like this. Son, I get to that staircase that I didn't know existed, and I'm thinking it's just a hill. So I'm gonna ride down the hill and keep it moving. Nah, my nigga, I went down them stairs. My front tire just dropped. Gunk! Bro, that shit shot me in the air like a cannonball. My shit flying through the air like this. Ah, ah. I comes down on the motherfucking grass and my stomach lands right on a boulder that happened to be in the grass, like a big rock that happened to be laying in the grass. My shit flies up in the air, comes down on my stomach. Boom on the boulder. When I say that shit knocked air, wind, space, fire, and soul out of me. Bro, I couldn't breathe for like 5 minutes. I'm on the ground like this. They're like, yo, you all right? You all right? Yo, we forgot to tell them about the fucking staircase. Yo, bro, I could not grasp breath. My shit was totally out of my body. I'm like this. Laying on the ground, squiggling around. You heard? Bro, that shit took me like 5 minutes. When I finally got some air, the first thing I said was, Why the fuck y'all ain't tell me it was a drop there like that? Them dudes had all type, yo, we thought you knew, yo, we forgot, yo. I was like, yo, come on, man. Shit blew minds. I just picked up the bike and walked that shit back into the crib, bro. You heard? And that's what I got for trying to show off on some hood bike riding shit, thinking that I was nice like that, swerving and jumping. Nah, my nigga. Cannonball Z, my shit was in the air. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't break no ribs or cause no major damage. I just attribute that to young nigga shit. If I did something like that now, I'd be in the hospital for 12 months. And that was fresh air fun in the 80s, bro. Know what I mean? And that's just a little quick story. Know what I mean? Z-Man Suicide Polo with the Ski Man. You know, a lot of dudes is leaving a lot of comments. They like, yo, Laz, man, we missed the stories, where the stories is at, and all of that. And I had to take a little 30-day mental health. I had to take a little 30-day vacation from this YouTube stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it be too much work and too much headaches with this YouTube thing where I be needing a rest. I need a mental health rest from this thing every once in a while. So that's what I've been doing lately, man. You know, dotting my I's and crossing my T's, man. I mean, but I'm stacking them stories. I got some heat on the way, and that's a whole fact. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, I put out hundreds and hundreds of stories on this channel, man. So, you know, y'all be cracking me up sometimes. I'm like, yo, Laz, I don't got nothing to watch. Bro, all you got to do is go into that playlist, new and recent episodes only, and you going to stumble upon 30 or 40 you going to stumble upon 30 to 40 episodes that you ain't get a chance to see, bro, because I drop so much joints that YouTube can't even keep up with the type of how much content I be putting out. You feel me? So everything don't make that algorithm push. You feel me? So go to that episode, go to the All Saint Laz Stories episode. It's mad Saint Laz Stories on that All Saint Laz Stories playlist that a lot of dudes ain't see, like the recent episode I just dropped. It only got 4,000 views. The Explorer. Go check that out. And then there's a whole bunch of other joints that a lot of y'all dudes ain't see throughout the whole channel. You feel me? So make sure you go to that new and recent episodes only playlist, skim through that playlist, go down them hundreds of episodes and find 20, 30, 40 episodes that you missed, and that's a whole fact. You heard? Z-Man Suicide Polo with the Ski Man, running around the hood like He-Man. You heard? I'm on my grind. I'll be back at y'all dudes very soon. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going through a lot of shit in life. Like, I be going through a lot of shit. Like my bro John Dilly said, life be lifing. I be going through a lot of shit, bro, that I don't speak about on this YouTube channel, shit like that. Nigga, regular nigga like everybody else. You feel what I'm saying? I got kids, problems, I mean, hood, dumb shit be going down, all type of silly shit. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm just out here working my G's, man. But y'all dudes get at me, and I'll be dropping that new fire real soon, and that's a whole flaxseed oil. You heard? Get at me.